Gentlemen, it's time once again to discuss things.
Wait a fucking minute. This is my last time on Geeky Gentleman for a while, and we're gonna do something that I promised you guys at the beginning of the video. Milan and I, and Ian will chime in on this too, are going to debate the cover photo of this week's edition of Geeky Gentleman, Godzilla vs. Cthulhu. Milan, let's do this, okay? You're ready? Let's fucking do this, alright?
Round one.
I think it's obvious. Alright. I think it's obvious who I'm rooting for.
Oh,
Chuck
Cthulhu.
Norris. No, okay.
Oh.
Here's the thing. Let's start this off in an interesting, somewhat actually intellectual.
Wait, hold on. Let me. You know what? Let's do this like a comic vine battle. How about that?
Sure.
I am going to lay down the rules and the setting and everything. Okay.
Sure.
And then you two will debate who will win the fight based on those rules. Okay. Now, Cthulhu is magic, Godzilla is science fiction, so we're gonna have to work with that and say that.
Well,
Godzilla
they're both ocean dwellers. So.
Well, hold on. We're gonna say that Godzilla isn't like Superman kind of affected by magic, but he's not completely immune to it. All right. And then, secondly, the fight takes place on an abandoned island. All right, a deserted island, I should say. That used to be a nuclear testing facility, nuclear bomb testing facility, okay? So it's got the darkness there that Cthulhu can feed off of, and it's got, the radiation that Godzilla could feed off of. And then the third thing is the fight has to be over within 5 minutes, or the person that is currently, down and out wins. Okay, and go.
Alright, let me start this off by saying, let's actually start this off in somewhat of an intellectual way, rather than just saying, this guy will beat the shit out of this guy. I want to briefly outline, and Milan, you can do it for Cthulhu after I do this for Godzilla, and I've talked about this on Ian's channel before, so I'll try to make this brief. I want to briefly outline who these two characters are, both character-wise and thematically. Start with Godzilla. Godzilla is overall the accumulation of everything that's wrong with human ambition. He is the after product of man's mistakes. He is as called in the monster of past sins. He is the physical representation of our mistakes, with the Cold War, the hydrogen bomb and such. And he is, at his core, a revenge-seeking child of the H-bomb. He is seeking revenge for the people who took away his, his peaceful existence. I mean, he was just an ordinary creature before this, and they turned him into this despicable creature that has no kinship with anything else, and he's overall just basically this revenge-seeking child at his core. So that's the brief way I'm going to outline it. He's a revenge-seeking child. So that's Godzilla in a nutshell.
Okay. Cthulhu is an extra-dimensional god of chaos and madness, who is allied to just extra-dimensional gods of chaos out in the outer voids. He is a wizard of his people that are. Some people say that they have died out, but actually they are only sleeping. They're not dead and not alive, but just dreaming, just like he is. But he's coming back this one time to show Godzilla who's boss.
Okay.
And now the fight begins in this corner, Godzilla, and in this corner, wearing the blue trunks, Cthulhu.
Oh god. Alright, now
Okay.
the fighting thing. Alright, so we've got Godzilla. Godzilla has the ability to expel concentrated atomic radiation. He can drain energy from atomic resources and become stronger. He has a basically limitless regeneration factor. He is basically indestructible. And overall, he's just a plain old badass. That's Godzilla. Milan with a fucking Cthulhu do to that.
Cthulhu is basically immortal. He is unkillable. He is an extra-dimensional creature. That means you can break away his physical form, but he can just reform in himself just in an instant. You can cut off his head, cut off his arm, just completely obliterate him, and he can just reform in like a second because he's not of this earth and are not of this dimensional plane. He can make people go completely and utterly insane by just getting the briefest glimpse of him. And I don't know what he can do with Godzilla's brain since he's a lizard and he's mainly just instinct, but I'm sure he can just cloud his judgment.
No. Here's the problem. Here's the interesting part of this fight. Godzilla is not just a lizard and is not just based on instinct. Like, as I said, he's not really just an animal anymore. Humanity, because they used the hydrogen bomb on him, the piece of revenge that's inside the human heart is now part of his heart. That's why, generally, Godzilla does not have reptilian eyes. He has human eyes, or human-looking eyes. And here's the thing. The interesting thing to me about this fight is the fact that Godzilla would probably, if Cthulhu was just using the physical form that we see in the Call of Cthulhu story, Godzilla could probably defeat his physical form in a few minutes. The interesting part of the fight comes in where Cthulhu starts to prey on Godzilla's traumatic past. He goes into his brain and starts to play around with the revenge-seeking nature that he lives for. The dark past that he has. That's where the interesting part comes in. Now the question is, can Godzilla repel that, or is Cthulhu going to drive him mad, or just cause him to just break down? And then the question is, can Godzilla get out of that?
Well, the thing about Godzilla, sure, Cthulhu can, keep him occupied with the horrible memories and thoughts of his past and all that other horrible stuff. So, but if Cthulhu he's a pretty big guy and he's a thing. He's a pretty big thing. I think he's a little bit bigger than.
Oh my.
Okay, but he sure. Okay, let me just say, I'm sure he can do some actual physical damage to Godzilla, and if he can keep him occupied, if he can keep Godzilla, in that state of fear and just madness, if he can get his tentacles on him, I'm sure he can break his neck or do some other horrible stuff like poke out his eyes.
How does Godzilla breathe?
Because
I know he spends a lot of time underwater, so does he have gills and lungs, or what's
No. He's basically the same thing whale has. He can just hold it for longer because his cells don't work as. He can also go into hibernation, so he doesn't have to breathe. He slows down his metabolic processes.
Well, here's the thing: can Cthulhu suffocate him? Because that's actually something that
the problem is that it would take a really, really, really long time to the point of absurdity where Godzilla could just blow off the tentacles with his atomic breath.
Okay,
but the thing is, Cthulhu can do it like whales and giant squid do it in real life. They can just attack
Godzilla, him. Yeah, that's probably how Godzilla works too. Though his is also a little bit of the hibernation thing. Continue.
No, but the thing, so Cthulhu can just grab Godzilla, wrap him around, and dive into the ocean, sinking to unimaginable depths of underwater darkness. And just
that's Godzilla's fucking domain, man. That's where
Cthulhu's domain too.
That's both though. That's why I said this fight should be in the water, because that's both of their domains. It'd be really interesting to see.
The thing is, though, the island gives it. They can obviously go into the water and out of the water. I'm just saying the island, because you're gonna have the physical and emotional pain of that island. The effect that man has had on that island will fuel both Godzilla emotionally and give Cthulhu stuff to feed off of.
But definitely.
The radiation, leftover radiation, will also help Godzilla out, and it will.
Right.
We don't know what radiation does to Cthulhu. I'm going to assume it's kind of null, but curious question anyway.
Well, here's the problem with...
Cthulhu is also a wizard.
Okay.
Well, he's a wizard of his people. It said so in Cthulhu.
He is the Gandalf of the monster world.
You shall not pass! That's a little harsh. It's only the beginning of the year. Professor Gandalf did not last long at Hogwarts.
Oh God! What the fuck?
No lie, actually, if you just a little factoid here. If you watch very carefully the scenes in Dumbledore's office in the second Harry Potter movie, there's a picture of Gandalf.
What is that? Is that his gay partner or something?
No, it's just Dumbledore admires Gandalf as a wizard.
Oh, oh,
So
interesting.
apparently, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings take place in the same universe.
This Harry Potter was like hundreds of years or thousands of years later.
Yeah, just one of those weird little things. It totally works
Okay.
too, because they got all the same kinds of creatures.
Interesting. Okay,
And
so back to the fight.
okay.
Here's
So
the thing.
Cthulhu. Let me say. It.
Sure, sure.
Can I please finish, please? Thank you. Basically,
Sure,
Cthulhu
sorry.
is. You're welcome. Cthulhu can
I
basically
said you're
grab.
sorry.
Okay, never mind. Well, Cthulhu can basically wrap his tentacles around Godzilla, dive underwater, and crush the air from his lungs. Sure, sure, Godzilla can hold his breath, but it's almost like a whale fighting a giant octopus.
Well,
You
the
know.
thing is, Godzilla has the reach of the arms. He's got incredible strength. He like chucks things that weigh thousands of tons into the horizon often.
Mm.
Just throwing that one out there, because
Yeah.
I have read Godzilla versus boards before, and that's been a feat that's been thrown out several times. Like something about him fighting a giant spider that's supposed to weigh like 45,000 tons, and he throws it into the horizon. That
Yeah.
seems like plenty of strength to get Cthulhu off of him.
Here's the ultimate problem with this fight. Cthulhu is a deity. In interdimension, and as they say in that story, he's not really made of physical matter.
Mm.
He's more of this like culmination of madness. Now, he definitely has a physical form, but that's what Godzilla will be able to fight. But I think ultimately the thing is that this is ultimately going to come down to Cthulhu is this god wielding magic and stuff, and Godzilla is at his core just a creature. And it's just like no matter how many times Godzilla kills him, no matter how many, even if Godzilla is able to repel him from his mind, Cthulhu can just keep coming back until eventually he wears Godzilla down. Because that's the thing, Godzilla can be worn down. I just don't know if there is a way for Godzilla to just stop Cthulhu from coming back. Is the question?
Well, that's the thing, is Cthulhu can't come back in this fight, and I realize that would be a problem because Cthulhu never dies; he just sleeps. The thing was, the fight only lasts a couple of minutes, and who's ever down after that time span is the loser.
So then I decree Godzilla the winner.
Oh, no, that's not fair. Cthulhu can actually, he can also possess Godzilla. Possess him and just.
Godzilla's brain is not a fun place to be.
Well, not even his brain.
Is it like Batman, where he's all organized?
It's worse than
cabinets?
It's worse than Batman. It's
Dude.
it's basically fire.
Dude,
it's like trying to swim in lava.
Okay. Cthulhu can basically in other stories these types of gods can also teleport any place on Earth. Like they have dimensional plane. Distances means nothing to them.
This has a battlefield. No battlefield removal.
Okay, I know, but let me explain. Cthulhu teleports inside Godzilla and basically rips his way out.
Whoa.
Godzilla has regeneration.
Even if he did that, he would be fine. Well, after time.
Well, he's gonna be down.
Well, with the time limit, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, and the thing is, unlike Wolverine, his regeneration time is an hour.
Yeah, so I
he
guess
needs at least an hour. At least an
Cthulhu
hour.
wins.
Well, unless he like falls into it. Here's the thing: Godzilla. It takes an hour just on his own. If this island is radioactive, it's cutting the time down. As long as he's feeding on radiation, his health will continue to go. Like think of this as a video game. His health would continue to go up.
Yeah, but the thing is, Godzilla just has like a giant ass hole in the front, like his upper torso and lower torso, where a giant tentacle monster of chaos just crawled out of. I mean, the time limit's like 5 minutes, and so sure, it would take him like an hour and a half, maybe 20 minutes to, with the added radiation of the island, but still 5 minutes. So he wouldn't happen to pull himself together in 5 minutes, maybe like 20.
But the thing is Cthulhu going to jump right to that? Because that's something he's going to have to jump to right away. Otherwise, it's not going to matter.
I think Cthulhu would use.
What's Cthulhu's first move? What's Cthulhu's first, like, here they are, they're on the island, they don't know what's going on, but they're two giant monsters that are obviously going to fight because that's their thing. What's Cthulhu's first move? Because he's obviously the more intelligent one. He is obviously the more intelligent one.
Well,
Like,
Cthulhu
Godzilla's got, you know, some sentience, but Cthulhu is clearly a calculating, thinking, like...
Clearly
more of a... You could play chess with Cthulhu. You could not play chess with Godzilla.
Cthulhu would just blow up the board.
Well, that's because he doesn't know how.
Fuck everything! That's what Godzilla would do.
Okay, well, Cthulhu...
blow even his own forces up. That's what he would do, just to win.
Okay, well, Cthulhu is basically, well, like you said, is a sentient creature, and since he's a deity, I'm sure X-ray vision is not beyond him, and he can basically get the gist of what,
okay, wait, now this fight is double and for not only can he, like, teleport inside Godzilla's body and rip him apart.
Actually, that's a bad idea, because X-ray is a type of radiation.
Yeah,
that would only serve to strengthen Godzilla.
Also, though, if we're going to the point where he can create his own superpowers, then that's unfair.
He's a wizard!
He is a wizard. That's not... That is in bounds.
And a god, so he's a wizard god of chaos and madness.
He doesn't have God in his name, though, like someone...
Like, here, let me ask you this. Is he a god in the sense of an actual metaphysical being, or is he a god in the sense that we are so tiny compared to him we would worship him as a god?
That's a great question.
Both.
I'd love it answered.
No, that is not... that you cannot answer both to that. Metaphysical being... No, is he more idea or more physical form?
Well, he's an extra dimensional thing, so I guess
that's physical.
So then he's a physical form. So he's like the aliens from Indy 4.
What?
Just not as lame.
Well, no, like here's the thing. If you remember Alien vs Predator?
Yeah.
The humans in that movie, when you got to go back to the past, which was probably the most interesting part of the movie, when you got to see Earth's past and they explain why the pyramids there in Antarctica, they go into the fact that the humans worship the predators as gods. All right, that's the thing.
Uncharacteristic as that might be.
Well, no, but still,
yeah.
That's the thing here. Is Cthulhu is more like that, more of a something that is so beyond any human comprehension that we would just bow down and worship him as a god, but that does not make him an actual literal god. It's kind of like Darkseid. Darkseid is not an actual god. He's just this unbelievably powerful being. There's a difference. He is not an idea. He is more physical. He became the embodiment of an idea in the DC universe, which is a weird thing they can do there. But he is more of a physical being than he is an actual idea that has been realized.
Right. Well, he's a god compared to what else is around.
And Godzilla is very much arguably the same way.
Define the god, basically.
Okay, like in the sense that you're talking about it, in the sense that you're using, but he is a god. Is the thing he could be? I'm trying to think of examples because this is a really abstract concept. You have gods like the Greek gods, which were essentially superheroes. Okay. And then you have gods like the Judeo-Christian God, which is very much a metaphysical thing that has no actual physical form.
Right.
It's very much conceptual. It's very up in your head. You don't worship statues of God. You worship statues of Jesus, but that's different. You don't worship statues of the Judeo-Christian God. All right. Whereas you worship statues of Zeus. We would worship statues of Cthulhu, even if he could take other forms.
Right, which doesn't make him an idea. It just makes him basically a tyrant.
But the thing is, Cthulhu in the story, he has some physical. He's extra dimensional. He's a little bit of both. He's a god, but he's also has some physical presence, but not too much. He's of something else.
Well, no, that's the thing is he's made out of a different kind of physical than we're familiar with, but he's still very much a physical being in some sense or another. End of the day, he's made of atoms or their equivalent in his alternate universe or whatever it is.
He can if we took this to his universe, which I know we're not, he could be destroyed.
Conceivably, yes.
So
Conceivably, yes. Hmm.
then that makes an interesting thing here with here's my question. Cthulhu can't imitate another form. He might be able to possess
No,
one, he can't imitate it himself.
no, no.
At the end of the day, he's still Cthulhu, he's still the squid
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Then he's not really a god as I consider a god. As Ian was
Okay.
describing, he's not a physical thing. Cthulhu at the end of the day is still Cthulhu, Godzilla at the end of the day is still Godzilla. At the end
And
of
that's
the
the
day,
thing is,
what is God?
if Godzilla went to a realm in which he was the most intelligent thing,
Mm.
people would clearly worship him as a god.
If he was living amongst other Godzilla sources, he would be a god. He would be the ruler there because he's bigger, more stronger, and also more intelligent than the other things that he's descended from.
Hmm. Well, I'm just saying, if you were to go to a world in which there were humans that were not smarter than Godzilla, then they would worship it. And that's the thing is, even if like Kong was that way, you know,
Right,
and
exactly. Well, there's also some Godzilla continuities where that happens, where humans worship Godzilla as a god.
exactly. And I figured that would be there. I was going to ask you, is there anything in which Godzilla was worshipped as a
Right.
deity?
Yeah, there
And that's
is.
the thing. Kong was. Did you ever see Kong, the original or the remake in '05, Milan?
I've seen the remake and the original.
Okay, yeah, you remember that tribe that worshipped King Kong? That's the
Yeah.
kind of god that Cthulhu is. They were so primitive, so like under his level of what he is, that they just worshipped him. Kong was much more of an animal than Cthulhu is, but he was still clearly much more intelligent. Like Kong was able. I don't know if this is as true in the original, but it was definitely there in the remake. Kong was clearly an intelligent being.
No, in the original, he's just a dumb animal.
That's what I
Yeah,
figured.
yeah.
But well, I don't know. They connected it somewhat in the original because he definitely had an affinity for the woman in the original script.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Yeah,
If
but
you read the original script, it's not like it is in the remake where it's like he actually has love for her. It's much more of like a prize thing. Like, that's just his property.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, like, there's clearly something more than straight animal in the
Right.
remake, but the remake didn't just make that up. It pulled little bits and pieces from the original.
Here's what I love about the remake, just to say this briefly. It takes the ideas of the original and expands upon them, and that's one of
Mhm.
them. It takes
Yeah.
the whole,
mm,
oh, it's the giant gorilla running off with a girl thing, and says, okay, here's why he's doing that.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And that's another thing I have with Cthulhu is, I think he's a little bit more than Kong in that regard, and that he
Yeah,
does
he's
clearly
clearly much
have...
more intelligent. He's clearly
dude.
he's much more dark side than he is Kong. Let me put it that way.
Right, right, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
But then also
I
the thing
guess
is that he
that's.
clearly has some sorts of Well, Milan, here's my question: can he actually possess people? Because that's not what I got in the story.
Oh, it will. I don't know. With me, I got
Can he
Cthulhu is
actually
something.
go into someone else's body and like run around as them for a day?
Oh no, he can actually teleport inside a person's body, but I'm sure he can he can possess people. They are of
Okay,
him
but it's not
intellect.
in a story, right?
Well,
Well, actually,
there
no.
are.
It's in a story that people have been controlled by him, or at least
Oh,
there's. I remember reading or like hearing this hinted about in one of them where they talk about someone's being controlled by the Cthulhu cult. Like here, let me put it this way: if the colors from space were holding people in that house, making them stay there, then
Mm-hmm.
then that's obviously something from his realm. So it's reasonably within his power set. Let me put it that way.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll buy that then. But I don't see Cthulhu possessing completely possessing someone's body. Like the only thing that's there is their physical form, not their mind. I don't see him running around like I don't see him taking over Godzilla's body, running around destroying the world.
Oh no, 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 no. He doesn't do that.
Okay,
I
that's what
think
I meant. That's what I was asking.
Oh no, no, he doesn't do that. He just looks at. He just observes what Godzilla is and just teleports inside him and bursts out of his chest.
Mm,
I take issue with that because Cthulhu is definitely bigger than Godzilla. If
Yeah.
not, maybe not by much, but definitely like he's about the size of King Ghidorah, I would imagine, and Godzilla's a little bit smaller than King Ghidorah is. And well,
Yeah.
Ian wouldn't know that because the one Godzilla movie I showed him, he's smaller than him. But in most continuities, Ghidorah's bigger. Um, and I see Cthulhu as maybe even a little bit bigger than Ghidorah. I don't. how would he be able to tell? Like, if he teleported inside Godzilla, for one, I don't see how he'd be able to do that because I take it more as he's able to teleport from this universe to his universe. That's really his only range. Like, he can't like quick teleport from this point to another point. So I wouldn't see him feasibly teleporting inside.
Yeah, I don't think I would take issue. He can't Nightcrawler.
Yeah, exactly. That's
he
what he can't. Yeah.
I think he can utilize teleportation. I don't think he can Nightcrawler. Or at least if he can't do it with such short precision like that.
Yeah, like you couldn't teleport to like Godzilla's intestines and just like have him burst.
No, like I think if he wanted to, he could like come out of the water in the Pacific Ocean and then teleport himself to, the Midwest. Like I could conceive of that. I just couldn't conceive of that kind of precision and short distance with, someone that's using teleportation and stuff to get from realm to realm.
Okay.
It's kind of like a generalized point.
Like, and I know there's nothing to back this up. It just doesn't feel within his set, It doesn't feel like it's within his reasonable reach.
Right, okay, so that's out. So, we've got Godzilla regenerating, and we've got Cthulhu. We still definitely, undeniably have Cthulhu playing with his mind.
Yeah.
My thing is, I think, to a point, Godzilla will be able to force him out.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Cthulhu doesn't even like intentionally do that. It's just being around him makes that happen.
Yeah, so it's almost kind of the person himself doing it.
Yeah, but the thing, he has people go crazy when they're in his presence, but when he focuses down on a thing, he can use that as a weapon. It's more of a focus. Like, you can go crazy just by staring at him, but if he focuses on you, you're dead. You're just, well, for a human at least. For a Godzilla, I don't know, maybe just. But the thing is, Godzilla's there, wounded, but he's regenerating, but
wait, why is Godzilla wounded?
Yeah, what did Cthulhu do?
We're not doing that. That's right. But
yeah, Godzilla's not sitting there in pieces. Oh my god, that image would be hilarious. You guys ever seen the movie The Monster Squad?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember that scene where they put the dynamite inside the werewolf's pants and they blow up the werewolf? But they play around with the idea of the only thing that can kill a werewolf is a silver bullet. So he literally just slides back together and gets up and walks away. It's hilarious.
It's awesome.
I gotta see that now. No, that reminds me of a Robot Chicken sketch. Oh my god, it was so funny. Werewolf is chasing this guy through the forest. Guy hides behind a tree. Werewolf comes around the tree and the dude just pops out and he's got a minigun and he just cuts the thing in half and then just gets that into more pieces, just slices him into pieces with the minigun and then takes those pieces, puts them under his car, runs over it several times and then puts it all in a blender, grinds it up, drinks it, shits it out, puts it in a can, and then throws it into a volcano, and then it cuts back to two nerds playing D&D, and the guy's like, the book says he's still not dead.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Alright, guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay. Oh, now he's gonna go to the bathroom.
Well, nature calls.
Oh man, we're never gonna decide this debate. I mean,
there's no point. It's a who would win. They never end.
Yeah.
Which actually, have you seen Bat and the Sun's been doing these live action who would win things?
Yeah, the one with Darth Vader and Gandalf was fucking awesome.
It was ridiculous, but it was cool. The other place that's doing it is Death Battles. And they're not doing it live action, but they're doing it in these 16-bit animations.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Those are really cool. Some of them annoy me because they kind of show their hand. The problem is, if you're watching a fight, the person who starts out winning will lose.
Yeah,
is almost always what happens. And that bugs the crap out of me. That and some of their justifications just feel really off. What was the one? Kratos versus Spawn.
Yeah, I was about to bring that one up.
I was okay, Spawn's cape feeds off of the guilty deeds of other people. So since Kratos has his dark past, Spawn was easily able to win by the end of the fight since he kept getting stronger. Kratos kind of deals with his dark past all the time. Why would this make a difference now?
He wears it on his skin.
Exactly. It's clearly he's already like well aware of it.
He's made peace with it to a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
I'm
so
back.
Anyway,
Guys, we gotta finish
back to Godzilla vs. Cthulhu.
Guys, you gotta finish us up because I gotta go buy some stuff from the deli for my dad.
Well, let's just finish now because
Godzilla wins.
No. We were just talking. There's no way to really determine who would win because someone else will always pick up the cause. I'm gonna post this video on Comic Vine too. Create a battle discussion for it. I really do love Comic Vine. They're the only people that would think, all right, we have a comic forum. Let's just make a separate section just for who would wins and call it battles.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
That being said, I really want Death Battles to do a Godzilla vs. Cthulhu now.
If I get a Cthulhu figure, I can do it.
Do they even make action figures?
They must. They have to.
Actually, I saw some customs.
There's got to be some custom ones at least.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well.
Thanks, guys, for listening to this Geeky Gentleman Extra. See you next time.
Bye. See ya.